We have to stand up for our rights.
Let's talk about the protests. How do Germany regulate their protests if the people of the nations are not happy, they are not with the government, or probably the government is cheating them, or is not straightforward? How do they do the protests in there?
Yeah, right. First of all, that is a ground right, I think so, that the people can go out on the street. And the government said at that time, guys, there's a virus out there. You haven't make any protests. That was the first year. But the protests just ignore that, because this is our right. It's free speech and all the things is our right. So the people started to get out, to get connected. And they started, it was 220, a massive demonstration in Berlin, the capital of Germany, where we had 1 million protesters on the street, and the police had also the chance, because you have to get a permission from the police to make that. So they were also there, and they can also collect the forces. So that is a new situation for us, because everybody could go out there and said, I like red color, for example, or like this or that. You can do what you want. But now they force you to stay home because there's a virus around. So and they stopped all kind of demonstrations.
Okay. So Gambians are just embarking on from one protest to another. How relevant is, or how important it is for people to come out with massive number to do the protest, especially a country like the Gambia? It is known for the smiling coast, but now a lot of people are not happy with the government. A lot of people are out there complaining about the food is expensive. Everything, yeah. In the hotel is expensive. You go to the market, everything is expensive. And now we are having this information every now and then that the people said they will go out and do the protest. Do you think is the right thing to do?
I think definitely it is a right, and it's also in for the people, because we are more. We are the people, and the politicians, and also the police or military, anybody all around the world. It's not a Gambian problem or a German thing or a German topic. It's all around the world. We are more, and we're the people.
We are more than the government.
Exactly, and they have to serve us. And in the past, they of course did it. They put us in the situation to have a good development and something like that.
Yeah.
And that's the right. And look at the history. If the people are bored about the things happened, there was a change, and I think it must be peaceful and without violence. It should happen, because it's your right to ask questions. It's your right to ask the politicians what you are doing for our country. We have also the same problem in Germany now. Everybody knows that we are financing millions of dollars, euros also, and sending weapons to Ukraine. And we also have to ask our government why the prices for electricity and energy and all the things are also running away. Also the prices running away for food, like in the Gambia too. I was also out there and asked the people here in the market, and they also told me that the price for food is running away, maybe more than 30% at now, and we have the same in Germany. So that is a point where everybody have to ask why we have this situation to the government, and everybody should do that, because if we do nothing, they will go further on. I think so. It will not end.
Wow. My beautiful audience and viewers out there, most especially to those of you who are listening carefully, he is Michael Bank, all the way from Germany. He came to the Gambia to join VM International TV platform to raise or to use his voice to change the world.
VM International, you are the solution to make this world a better place.
Michael, where do you come from exactly?
I was born in Hamburg, and I grown up there in that area. And after that, during my job, I also went several places in Germany. Now I'm living with my family near the border to Berlin.
Okay.
And Brandenburg, it's the area. So I'm happy to be here back again, and I'm working. Maybe in 5 years I will be in retirement. So
wow.
Then I'm thinking about to come back to my second home. Somebody said, Michael, Gambia is my second home.
Okay.
We fall in love many years ago. We also traveled around the world with my friend, and sometimes it was lucky choice. We
Okay.
come down to the Gambia, and the first impression was just the name is not Smiling Cross, and
Yeah.
you look in the faces, and also you look in the faces of the people. They have nothing. They are smiling.
Yeah. Okay, Michael, Mr. Bank, what is your purpose or your reasons of coming to the Gambia, the smiling coast of Africa?
I think the main thing is other people. The people and look around many times and I see what is necessary here, what is needed, and so I went to schools. You remember that also, and I said education is one of the best you have to do for children, and children are definitely the future, and we have to. Invest and help in education also. That's why we are financing some school fees, some parents directly, and also we support the schools with the things they are leading here, something like that. And we support all some things we can help here or there with little things.
How long have you been doing that?
Maybe nearly 6 years, around maybe 6 years we do that.
With different school or one school?
And now we are in one school, so maybe we'd like to change. It's another story, another side of the medal, but we'll support maybe.
But why do you want to change so quickly?
It's a little bit. Different thought.
Different. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we are coming back to the main topic. That is like you have not been coming to the Gambia for the past 2 years. Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, that's the point. I think so. If you ask me for, you started to ask me, tell me news about Germany.
Yeah.
But then I would like ask you, which kind of news do you mean? It's very easy. Everybody could go to the internet and type in news from Germany.
Yeah.
I'm sure that is not the news you would like to hear. What I would like to tell you. So one point is if to ask why we can't go here to the Gambia as we would like it do it every year.
Yeah.
So it starts at 2:20 with the Corona things. In the first year, nobody was able to make a booking because they kept all the airplanes on the ground. Said nobody could use an airplane because the deadly virus is around. That was the first year of the story, and during that, I also felt myself maybe also the people outside also feeling that there's something happened there. At that moment, nobody can explain it, but it was deeply in my stomach that there's something's
Were
going
you sick or
strange.
what happened?
No, not sickness. It was just the story that it's a virus and they keep everything out.
Okay.
They make lockdowns. Also, I hear that here as I come back here, and everybody said to me, Michael, we have the same problem. I said, okay, that sounds the same. They had lockdowns. You cannot travel. You have to sit at home, and also the economy, and that's the main thing. We all everything's belong together. If our economy is going down, you have much more problem here in the Gambia because you get all the trade and all the things is it's just running because the economy maybe in Europe is strong or in America or somewhere else. So that is the reason.
Okay, now coming back, you talk about the economy. Like you said, if the economy is running down in Germany or in Europe particularly, it affects the people in the Gambia, and not only in the Gambia but the world. But what do you think is the causes behind the economic crisis in Germany?
I think let's go back to the beginning of that. The story, the topic. The point was there is a deadly virus. That was a story. So and with that reason, they can make a lockdown. And if you are an owner of a company and you have maybe 50 employees in your company, you have to send them home and said we have the lockdown. We can't make any business. So that is a problem because the normally economy flow is interrupted suddenly. So you can hold it maybe 1 year or two, but now we are in more than 2.5 years in this situation, and all the like domino stones are together. If one stone is falling, the other is also falling because everything is depending on each other.
Yeah.
That is a problem. They shut lockdowns, hotels, nothing nothing but public traffic was still open then.
So are you trying to tell me nothing is working at the moment?
It is working now because we have another point coming up after that.
What is that?
Yeah, what is the next point is the war in the Ukraine and Russian. So that also keep the focus now from the people away from that corona thing, because after 2.5 years everybody should know that something of that story is not fit, doesn't fit of that, because there is no the deadly virus around. Only the government and the health ministry said, yeah, there's a virus around, and they, especially in Germany, still you have to wear a mask if you're using public transport. It's crazy. Or if you use a train, you have to use a mask.
Okay.
If you go on an airplane, you have to have it. That's tell me what.
Can you also tell us exactly how those actually coronavirus really affect you and your people in Germany?
I think it is not the virus is so deadly as they told us to us, because on the first moment you saw some pictures from China, and you see that they are in trouble, and everybody has in his mind that everybody's falling down, and after 1 month, 2 months, you see nothing happened. Also around, you see nobody's getting sick at that moment.
Okay.
So and then you ask questions, that what's happened there? You see some statistics also. They make some statistics. You can see how many cases we have infected people. But that's not the point. The main thing is how many people are dead. That is the point. If I have a flu, for example, or something else, I go to the doctor or I stay at home, and that's all. And if you that is the results. That is the evidence of anything. So there was, from my point of view, there was until today no evidence how it runs. Everybody's talking about that. There's a deadly virus around, but you have to ask now, where is the virus now? Where are the results? Normally, 50% of all the people in the world should be dead normally, but we are still alive. That's okay. But with this problem, you can also lock down companies. You can keep the people at home, and that is a point I can't understand, because we have also a constitution in our country, as you also some rules how it works, and there's also free speech and something like that. And if I said, okay, just a moment, please have any question, can you tell me where is the mortality rate of that virus? So no answer. We have just infection rate. They also make it long time. They said it's important that you have an infection, just an infection rate. But it doesn't make any sense, because interesting is how many people died of that. That is the only question you have to ask for. But now we are facing also these problems, and at that time, as the people get a little bit bored about that thing, because they looked around, everybody's alive, and said, "What about the virus? What about the things that they forced us to do, just wearing masks?"
You mean you're trying to tell us that you were forced to do certain things? First of all, can you outline some of the things that you were forced by your government for you to do when people didn't even want to do that? What are those areas that you were forced?
Yeah, right. That's it started with the pandemic, and they at the first days they said there's a virus around, and it's enough if you keep your shirt in above, cover your mouth.
On your mouth.
That was the starting of that, and then they said, okay, no, that's not good, because the infection rates going up, and they tell you also the story why they get up, because they test a lot. If you make tests, you will get results, of course. So that was the first step, and the next step was you have to wear surgery masks, like you saw them out or see them out somewhere around, and you see they increase in that step. And the next one now we have is called FFP2 mask. There's another one, looks like a coffee filter from the coffee machine. And that should be much more better. Okay. And then the point is that we said you haven't no chance to get into the supermarket to buy food. You have to wear a mask, otherwise you get wiped out in the first step. And then they have also some checks, of course, that the people follow the rules. If you want to go to supermarket or anything else, or in the public restaurant, they were closed, and then you have to go wear a mask. Also outside, it's crazy. They also said in the first year of that pandemic, they said, okay, if you're going out for a walk, you have to wear a mask.
Okay.
Well,
So it's like your ministry was the one forcing, or the government itself?
also, no, it was just the government is here in several ministries, and one of them is the health ministry, and they started with that campaign also, and said okay, and the government covered it, of course.
Currently, how is Corona issue in your country?
It's still there, but now the people are bored about that thing, and only the health minister now is still running his agenda and said, hey, you have to wear a mask. Now the winter time is coming, and everybody get the second or 11th wave coming up around the world, and it's much more worse than the wave before.
Yeah. But do you love wearing masks yourself?
No, this is absolutely nonsense, and that's the point I would like to tell the people around here, your listeners also. I think the main thing is you have to use your brain and what you have learned in school. So that's very easy. If you the mask, for example, if you look in my book, and I did it also, I looked my old school book and I looked there about biological things, and you see how big, which is the size of a virus, and how
A big
how effective is a mask. And if you look at the mask, at the structure of the mask, and you see that it would be, if you throw a ball through a window, that is always the size capacities of that. That is absolute nonsense.
Okay.
The other point,
wearing masks is absolutely nonsense to
it is
you.
nonsense. And not only for me, also for the kids. My children was also forced in school during the whole time wearing this mask. In during their lessons, and that's unbelievable. They had headaches because it's
He was
oxygen problem. You breathe in, out, and you have the problem with the oxygen.
Okay, what have you done? Have you lodged your complaint to the police, or?
The police is nonsense. It will not help you. They just said, okay, that's an order from the ministry. Everybody's the responsible give to another person. That is the problem. So I started to discuss with the school, because the principal of the school is irresponsible of the kids.
Or irresponsible. You use the word irresponsible, meaning he's not responsible.
Yeah, everybody, that is always the same. If you said, hey, you make a problem, he said, oh, no, it's come from above, from the next step.
So are you trying to tell me in Europe also we have this concept, like when an institution make mistake or does something which the people are not happy, and they want to find out some of this information and how it is affecting the people, maybe you ask the authority, or maybe you ask someone that is responsible for that department, do they respond saying that this information is from the top? Is that the situation in Europe or Germany?
That's always the same. No? We have another structure in Germany. After the Second World War, we have a kind of constitution, and we have the might is control. We have separate. We have justice, we have executive, and we have the government. And they have to normally they have to control each other.
Yeah.
If you make rules, the high court have to check that in the interest of the people. That is the main thing. And now all these mechanisms are off. Nobody cares about that. There's just one rule, and everybody has to follow that rule.
Okay.
And if you ask questions, you have a problem. And that is the point. That is a point where I would like to say that is not in my mind, and I haven't talked about it before. But you have to ask your government, why do you this? Where is the evidence? I think evidence is one of the most important question in anything, not only on that point, but you can also ask where's the evidence why you should open the door or not, or something like that. It's always the same. So
and then how do you felt when you are stopped not to ask question?
Yeah, this is, you can sit at home and say, okay, that's a point. But you see, there's also a movement. I'm not alone. That's a good feeling. Normally, if you start that thinking, you said, okay, look around, and I think about it and speak it out. And I was happy because my family was also around me and said, okay, you're right, maybe, what you're saying is right. And you just start asking and connect it to other people, and you see that they also maybe on your mind and said, okay, why is not allowed to ask questions, and I think that is a very, very bad development. I think the best thing you could do is asking questions.
Okay.
I tell you why. For example, Columbus was also everybody knows Columbus, Christopher Columbus. He asking also questions for himself, and it was maybe other questions as a mainstream ask at that time. So that is very interesting. That is also how science get a progress. You have asked questions permanently, if it's right or not.
Before we end this interview, what is going to be your message to the people of the Gambia and the people of Germany?
I think the first message is stand up for your rights. You know the song, everybody knows the song.
Yeah.
Stand up for the rights, and I think it's very, very important that we have to do it together.
Yeah.
Not only here in the Gambia or separately sometimes in Germany, France, and all around the world. We have to stand up for our rights because it looks like a worldwide agenda. I think so. If you see how it runs in America, in Europe, and all around the world, it's always the same agenda story about that. And now it's time to get up, to stand up for your rights, and don't be afraid. Look in the environment. If you see ants, let me do that very example for you, because everybody could learn from nature. You can first I would like to ask tell the ants. If you see a pile of ants protecting the queen, everybody can see that, and everybody has his job. The soldiers there, they're collecting food and something like that. And if you would like to attack the queen and you jump on the one, you see that it's very busy. You will not get all.
Yeah.
So that is they are more. That is always the same. They always will prevail that situation. So that is always the thing. We have to remind ourselves that we are more and we are the force.
And if you talk about right, what is your right? Because before you fight for your right, you need to know what is your right.
Yeah, for example, in Germany we have the kind of constitution. It's called Grundgesetz. That's not a constitution directly, but it's anyway. And there's our rights. And there's then free speech, also protests. The right for protest. If I'm not, I can ask my government, what's happened now? Go to the local town hall and ask, what is the problem and why we are in this situation? And you have to get some answers. I think so.
Yeah.
That is our right. That's a basic right. And just the last message maybe just is use your brain.
To change the world.
No, just use your brain and ask questions. As thousands of years, the people are asking questions, and then you get a progress. And that is all the thing I could tell you. Just use your brain. Believe me, nothing. That's do a research by yourself. Everything's on the table. Everybody could do that. Yeah, you can get all the information you want to have. The problem is my former physical teachers told us formulas and said, guys, this is a formula. And in the end of the day, he said, guys, I give you the last advice. Knowledge is a debt.
Wow.
Yeah, and that is the point. You cannot wait for it. Grab for it. It is my
your
message to your lovely listeners. So thanks for the.
And how do you feel about the interview?
I'm feeling that it's necessary that we should be connected to each other worldwide, and a lot of campaigns are running around worldwide. So maybe we will win one day. Well, always peace and freedom will win. I'm deeply in my heart. I feel that, but we have to activate these forces. The forces, we are the force for that, and we are one world. As you remember that.
Yeah.
I really like that. So we stand together. That is the message for you.
The time is off. Now I would love to use this medium to thank each and everyone watching us live on VM International TV. It's all about VM show. Sometimes we try to invite people from all over to share their ideas, because we believe that one idea can change the world. Probably it might not be mine, it might not be his, but somebody special out there could say something and the world could listen and make a difference. So that's what we really want. We don't want to see people fighting. We don't want people to be creating violence. We want people to be creating peace, and only us can create that. And the only way we can do it is to come together as one people. It doesn't matter where you come from. What's more important is like be you, be natural, love yourself and love others. That's it. And I said goodbye till we'll come on your way next time. One love. Bye-bye.
VM International, yeah.
Please don't forget to subscribe, like,
VM International.
Ala follow the Wobiton Dingonying. VM so wato tijede ala bulu kondi wadi kijal ka follow wo wuleri ndingonying ala wadi kide al ka follow
Tinjang Nim VM International, yeah.